CNET is deleting thousands of old articles.
Speaking of bad things.
I am so upset about this. Honestly, I didn't even think about this before. I was having a conversation with Plouffe from the writing team about how impossible it's gotten to find things on Google lately.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can't find old stuff. I was looking for, here, I'm going to, okay, we'll do it live, okay? So,
yeah.
Samsung Jive. I was looking for this old phone that I had when I was in high school. Oh, this is a new result. Twitter. I mean, is it Twitter? Is it X?
It's still twitter.com, but it's not Twitter.
The point is, I was looking for this old flip phone that I had when I was just just out of high school or just at the end of high school. And the vast majority of the results are just modern phones. Google, that is not what I'm looking for. And what's really wild about this is how inconsistent the results are. When we were sitting in script review, because it was the, I think it was the one on old phones or something like that, I had wanted to include a reference to one of the phones that I used to have, but I didn't want to include a reference to the wrong phone, even if it was one that was very similar, because I didn't want to say something inconsistent with something that I had said in the past, right? And so I was trying to search for it while they were there, and then like a week later, I messaged Plouffe on Teams. I'm like, yo, I found it. It's I think it's the A920 or something like that. But when we were chatting about it in script review, we were both sort of agreeing, yeah, it's getting basically impossible to find anything on Google these days. But what never occurred to me is that it's not just, oh, wow, I clicked this tweet and it's like very useless. Yeah, that's, okay, cool. I can't even see what I was replying to. Awesome. So I would have no way of finding this thing. But it never even occurred to me that the problem is not just Google getting worse and just wanting to sell me stuff, because that's the first thing that comes up. Images for Samsung Jive. Do you mean new stuff and new cases for phones you could buy? No, that's obviously not what I meant. But it could also be the actual creators of this content not just disappearing, because that definitely happens, but also actively deleting their old content. It would have never even occurred to me. And yet here we are. CNET has been deleting thousands of old articles over the last few months. And when Gizmodo asked for a comment, a CNET representative confirmed that the articles were intentionally deleted and shared an internal memo that said that the articles would be preserved by the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine, and described the deletions as a way to send a signal to Google that says that CNET is fresh, relevant, and worthy of being placed higher than our competitors in search results. I'm going to let you finish, but if you think that SEO is the name of the game in the modern web, you are not fresh and you are not relevant.
Yeah. Also, there's other ways to deal with this. Like, you don't have to just delete all the old content. Even if this was real, you could just subdomain it or something. You could move it somewhere else. You don't have to delete everything. Like, this is not the way.
CNET.old or something like that. The representative likewise stated, this is an industry-wide best practice for large sites like ours that are primarily driven by SEO traffic. In an ideal world, we would leave all of our content on our site in perpetuity. Unfortunately, we are penalized by the modern internet for leaving all previously published content live on our site. Is that even remotely, like, do you know anything about this that you can contribute to this conversation? Is that even remotely considered to be valid SEO practice, never mind best practice?
As far as my understanding goes, no. Also, did you read this tweet? Sorry, I've been distracted by other things. Did you read the tweet from Google?
We're going to get to that.
Okay, yeah. So, like, I've never heard of this being effective, personally.
Neither has Google, apparently.
Yeah.
This is a search. This is a great tweet from @searchliaison. So this is the Google search liaison that says, "Are you deleting content from your site because you somehow believe Google doesn't like old content? That's not a thing," with an exclamation point. "Our guidance doesn't encourage this. older content can still be helpful too. Learn more about creating helpful content. And then it provides presumably some kind of link. There's a colon here. So no, Google does not recommend deleting older content, though in 2011, they did state that removing older, low quality content could improve your site-wide ranking. That was 12 years ago. I doubt that's very relevant today. Things have gotten a lot more granular since then. But I think that what CNET might be grappling with here is, maybe this merits some kind of, I'd love to hear from you guys. Hit me up in the chat with just, I'm not going to try and create a poll for this right now, but when was the last time you visited CNET? Like in years? Is this just CNET on the struggle bus?
At least 5. Like for sure, at least 5.
Lol, no one will answer. I don't even remember. I haven't seen anything past 2010 yet. 2011, 15 years. I'm on CNET right now. No, you're not.
Well, they might be because of us talking about it.
I mean, that's fair.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, wow. Pretty much no one be like, I go there every day.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I do end up there from time to time.
Makes
Never
sense,
personally.
Though. Yeah, I was going to say.
Always for work.
Yeah.
It's always, I need to know something very surface level. No offense, CNET. I need to know something basic about some old crappy technology from like 2006 or something because I'm doing research on something. And CNET happens to be the only thing that took such this is pretty admirable. This is pretty cool, but that took such a broad approach to tech coverage that they have anything about that particular gadget or gizmo. So to their credit, that's definitely something that they've done well. But for anything newer, I don't know that CNET is ever my go-to for the best quality coverage. I have stumbled across good quality articles there in the past. They do exist. But in general, I feel like their brand has just been scattershot, blah, 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 just try and do a little bit of everything for so long that I don't really see how they can... I don't see how they can be surprised that their relevance is low, and I don't think their diagnosis is correct. And the main reason I wanted to talk about this is not just to trash on CNET. I have nothing against CNET, but rather to talk about how destructive what they're doing is to the general informativeness of the internet. Like as the sort of the internet generation, I feel like we've taken for granted that things on the internet are just they're there for you to search for. But if you've got the companies who own all the historical data, just going, oh, well, I don't know, maybe the preservationists will hold on to it. Yeah, or maybe they won't. They're certainly not going to hold on to video. And so this might be fine for stuff that you're deleting from 2004 or whatever. But as we get into the multimedia age, nobody's going to be preserving that. And there's just going to be... We think of putting something on the internet like we used to think of writing something down. And it's not. When it's gone, it's gone. Whether it's the...
I've brought this up a few times, but the whole like the internet never forgets thing. And then you go forward a few years and it's gone.
The internet forgets a lot.
Oh, yeah. Or just stops caring. One of the two.
Is it kind of both? Are we just tired of caring? Are we out of cares?
I think that's absolutely a thing, personally. Yeah.
So our discussion question is pruning content like this actually a good idea? And is this a responsible way for a news organization to behave? I mean, that's another big one. Then again, if this is an existential threat, at least in their minds for them, if they feel like they need to get what is it, fresh, relevant, and worthy of being placed higher than our competitors in search results, do you have a responsibility to exist? You know, is it?
I would again say, though, that they could just put it on an archive site. They could subdomain it. They could do whatever. I do not believe that the thing that they're trying to run away from is even real. But if it was real, or even if they believe, who cares, right?
Yeah.
Even if they believe it's real, there's another way to go about this.